Welcome to another session of AA Illustrates. This week we're going to be talking about A2019 packages, bot store, and bot security. So interesting topic for this week. Just a quick background, AA Illustrates is sessions that we do weekly on a variety of topics. Last time we had some conversations with A-listers. We've done tutorials before, we've done how-tos, we've done product information. This week, it's going to be a conversation with myself and Arjun. So I am Micah Smith. I'm a developer evangelist here at Automation Anywhere. Arjun, go ahead.
Hi, Micah. Welcome, everyone. This is Arjun S. Meda. I'm also a senior developer evangelist with Automation Anywhere.
Awesome. So today, Arjun and I are going to have a conversation about A2019 packages. We're going to talk about the A2019 bot store integration that was just released. And we're going to talk some about the bot security program that some of you may have seen.
So let's talk about what are packages and why should we use them. So basically, packages are groups of actions. Micah, do you want to add more?
Yeah, sure. So these actions are basically the tools that allow an RPA developer to create their automation. And these are similar to commands that we had in version 11. But these packages are basically groupings of those actions, and those different actions allow me to automate different things within my workflow or my process or whatever automation I'm trying to create. You know, the big thing, Arjun, that I really focus on with packages, and I think the thing that's really cool about the platform is that the packages are very modular. And so I can have lots of different packages installed or enabled, and I can even have multiple versions of those same packages. And so what that means to me is that, let's say I have to do some kind of upgrade and my one package is out of date, I can update just those packages without having to do like a full platform upgrade. And anyone who's worked in a large organization knows that doing full platform upgrades can be an absolute nightmare, just with all the approvals you have to get and getting staging environments set up and everything like that. And so when you have the ability to have a real modular approach like this, where you can just upgrade a specific component of the application while leaving the legacy support in place for older automations, that is just like an absolute home run to me as an RPA lead or as a COE lead. That is the ideal scenario so that you don't have to necessarily do these gigantic projects just to upgrade a specific component of your application.
Oh, that's definitely going to be interesting. I'm sure our developers are going to love it.
Absolutely. So Arjun, let me ask you, can I build my own packages and bots in A2019?
Of course you can. So just using A2019, you can build RPA bots. And to build packages, you can use any Java IDE such as IntelliJ, and then build your jar files, import them into your control room, and then using the actions in the package, you can use those actions in the packages and then build bots.
Awesome. What about downloading packages and bots from other developers? Is that something?
Oh, definitely, yes, because as you just explained, packages are not just to be used by the ones who built themselves, right? So it has to be something to do with sharing. So that's where bot store comes into place, where you can get a lot of packages available from the bot store. You can just download them into your control room, and then you can start using them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the thing I really like about this is that when we think about this definition of a citizen developer, right, where we would say that that's someone who's like a business user or a process analyst or a business analyst who has kind of started to learn some of the tips and the tricks of Automation Anywhere and, kind of working their way into being an RPA developer. They may not know how to consume an API or use some of these cognitive services that are available in the cloud. But with package development, you have the ability to enable that for citizen developers and all kinds of developers, to be honest, right? So if we look at, like, there's an AWS comprehend here on this screenshot, AWS send SMS. So you have the ability to basically extend the tools that are available to any developer to allow them to more easily use maybe much more advanced concepts and advanced tools within their own automations. And so I like that it's kind of democratizing some of this really high-tech stuff and making it available for everyone to use within their package and within their bots.
True, I totally agree on that. So it's like that shows the extensibility of the platform, right? Like, so not everybody needs to have the entire knowledge of coding to build something out. So make it easy for anybody in your team to use it out. So one person builds it out, or you even pick up a solution that's a package which is there on the bot store. You download it, and then all your team members who have no clue about how to build one can still be able to build those complex bots and run it in their environment.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, totally agree. So Arjun, you mentioned BotStore a minute ago. Tell me a little bit more about BotStore.
Sure, BotStore is the world's largest marketplace for pre-built intelligent automation solutions. So what does that mean in terms of the inventory? So these are bots and packages, whatever we have in this bot store are like already ready-made solutions available for you to just download. And these are built by process experts and developers, RPA developers from across the globe. I mean, these are built by the experts, so you can comfortably use it in your environment. Just to give some statistics around the assets in the bot store, there are over 850 bots or packages in the bot store, and there has already been a great traction, 135,000 plus downloads. And also, the best part is it is the industry's first and only bot security program that's supported in the bot store.
Very cool. Yeah, and you know what? One thing that sticks out to me with BotStore is that you have large vendors who are posting bots that people can download and use within their organization. But then you also have individuals, and I like that, you know, those listings are for the most part look the same. But you have individuals who are really motivated bot builders or package builders, and they want to share their content, as well as relatively large organizations and service providers. And so I like that, you know, kind of all that content mixes together there, and all of that's available. And so kind of like we said with the packages, it really democratizes things. And so anyone can list something on here. You know, we do have best practices and standards that everyone has to adhere to, but it allows everyone who has a cool idea for a bot to be able to post it and demonstrate their expertise.
Yeah, definitely. Like just the way a decade ago, people were looking at like building websites, building apps. Now is the time for the bot economy. You need not be a large company to build out these bots, right? Like you can build all by yourself and list it as a individual on a bot store, and you should still be able to monetize these bots. So that helps you build a recurring source of income for yourself.
Absolutely. Very cool. So as far as downloading these pre-built packages and bots in A2019, you know, the way I look at it is it's kind of a three-step process. First, you explore around BotStore, and like Arjun was mentioning, there's lots of bots and packages available there. Again, I would highlight that there's content for version 11. There's also content for A2019. So you'll see both out there. We're going to focus on the A2019 content for this session, but you find what you want. You click the Get Bot button, and that will make that bot available to you. You will connect your control room to the bot store, and then you can just install it. And so that process is much easier than it ever has been, and I'll demo that real quick. I want this to be really hands-on. I want to show exactly what this process looks like. So this is a new account that I've set up. Before we get to that, I'm going to go to the bot store itself, and we'll find an A2019 bot.
Micah, is there a way I can just check out the latest A2019 bots?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you click on this A2019 link right here, this will show you all of the A2019 built bots and packages. There's actually much more than this. If you click on any of these categories, you can go and see all of the bots that have been built for A2019 so far. Let's take a look, for example, at this one right here, the A2019 Bing Translate bot. This one just uses Bing Translate to translate between different languages. I've already done the Get Bot part of this one. So if I hit download, it's going to allow me to go directly to my control room. And so if you have multiple control rooms, that's fine. If you've already entered one, you can just select it here. If I were to hit new, I can enter my control room. I'm going to go to this bot store one that we use, and I'm going to hit go. And it will open up the control room for me and allow me to get started on the process of connecting my control room with the bot store directly. And that allows me to not have to download these files myself or manage it. I can just directly connect the two. So let me log in here. I have to stop talking when I'm typing passwords, Arjun.
That's okay. Go ahead. So this means you're not going to download anything into your local system.
Yeah, that's right. So nothing is going to really be downloaded to my local system at all. It's all going to go directly to the control room. So if you can see here, I have connected my account, which was the same one I had already, downloaded or bought this bot with. And you can see here it's listed. It is not yet installed. It is a free purchase type. And there's also some other bots that I have downloaded previously, and that's why those are showing up. But for any of these listings, I can come here and just click the Add to My Bots button, and that will actually start the install process. And so at this point, it's actually connecting directly to the bot store and installing the bot on my control room. And so I don't really have to do anything. There's no local install for me. It's automatically going to download and place those files. Cool. So it says installed. If I head back over to the My Bots section and then to the bot store private directory, here's that Bing Translate bot. And I can see that that was installed. My username is, in this case, botstore_demo. So that's cool. If I go here, this is that Translate bot directly from BotStore. And at this point, I could run it. I could try to customize it some if I wanted to. And then I could start using that bot. And so, when I think about BotStore bots, some are going to be, I think, really great automations that I can use just straight out of box, and I can, just start working with them. Others, I think, are more components that you might want to include within your bot. And I think this is probably an example of that, right? This would be, maybe I've got some email that I'm reading and I need to translate it. I would maybe pass that text to this bot, use this as a subtask, and then take that text back to my original bot to either make sense of, move forward, do some kind of language analysis or something like that. But that's kind of how I look at using some of the bots from BotStore.
This looks pretty easy though, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, this is a much easier process than we had for version 11. And that wasn't a terrible process in itself, but this is crazy easy. And I like that it's all kind of built into the same application. So once I've really connected the two of these, I can really extend what I have in my control room to not only the stuff that I've built, but anything that's available on BotStore.
Okay, that's really interesting, and it's pretty easy. I'm sure developers will try this out and let us know how they see this.
Absolutely. Let's also look at the other side of this, right? Because there's the download part and the consumption, and that's all really great. There's also the submission part, and developers, you and I have both submitted stuff to BotStore previously. We're interested in being able to build something, being able to submit it and complete it. And this side, just like the download side, is also much easier in A2019. So let's take a look at what that process looks like as well.
Sure.
So the process of being able to create a bot to submit for BotStore or a package, to me, really starts with using the BotStore template. And this is on the Automation Anywhere GitHub. And this is a template that basically has a shell which includes error handling, it includes logging, and it includes log management. And log management meaning the logs will automatically clean themselves up after 30 days. So we're not just creating these infinitely large logs on anyone's environment. This also has the README template, which a developer would be expected to fill out and save as a PDF to submit with their bot submission, just so that other developers and other bot builders know exactly how to use whatever the thing is that they're sharing, whether that's a bot and or a package. So you would start with downloading this BotStore template zip and installing this onto your control room. I have taken the liberty of doing that step already. So if I go back here to my BotStore directory, it will install as a botname-vendor name folder. And then inside of that, you will have the bot shell. And that bot shell here just has a basic shell. Here it's establishing, I'll show in dual view here. It's establishing the bot name and vendor name. It's setting up a folder structure for the way that the logs, the error handling will ultimately write to, as well as snapshots. And then it starts with a try catch block so that you can put all of your bot logic in a try, and then there's a catch to handle if any errors should occur. So, the way that I look at this from a development perspective, you would want to rename this, obviously. So let's call this a illustrate sample. And I'll hit update. You can name it, obviously, whatever you want. The name that we would give here for the bot itself really only matters for whoever's going to see this in the future. It's not going to show up on BotStore necessarily like this. We would also want to give the folder a meaningful name. So right now it's named botname-vendor name. This is a pattern that any submitter to BotStore or developer should be following. And so you would put here whatever the bot's going to be. So I'll put AA illustrate sample. And you can use spaces and stuff like that if you need to. The vendor name here would be how you registered. Arjun, can you talk about the vendor registration process at all?
Sure, that's a simple form where you will have to just talk about what's the name of your company, what do they do, and give us a logo and also your contact details, and just fill it out so that the operation team will take it up, and we will create a vendor profile on your behalf and list it on the BotStore.
Yeah, absolutely. And so if you look at any of the, let's go back to bots home here. You can see who has submitted these different bots. So there's AppPerfect. I think this is it Thirdwave or Thirdware? There's a bunch of different organizations and vendors. Yeah, Thirdware. So the process that Arjun was talking about, gets you register on BotStore and allows you to submit as a vendor. So here, I'm just going to put Automation Anywhere as the vendor name, since that's who Arjun and I work for, and we'll hit Save Changes. Folder is not empty. Oh, I'm not going to be able to rename it while there's something in it. So let me move some stuff out of that, and I'm going to create a new folder, actually. We'll do it that way, and then I'll just move stuff over. So I'm going to say a illustrate sample dash automation anywhere, create folder. I'm going to copy my sample bot over there. There we go. Cool. So now I have a folder that is appropriately named with my files inside of it. Arjun, where do I go from here?
So all you have to do is from the action panel on the right side, click on check-in. So you basically check the bot into the public workspace. Right now you are in the private workspace. So just give it a comment here and just check for all the dependencies, whatever your bot is referring to, and then check in on the top right corner.
Cool. We'll hit check-in.
Cool. So now you got to go to the BotStore folder in the public repository and then identify your folder, get into it, and now you have your bot listed here. Again, from the action panel on the right side, just click on it and there's an icon called Submit to BotStore. Click on that and again, verify all the dependencies. And once you're comfortable with all the bots and the packages which are listed here, just go ahead and hit on Submit on the top right corner. So till now, you are in the control room. Now, once you click on Take Me to the BotStore, it's actually going to your BotStore account on the BotStore page. And from there, it'll save it as a draft for you.
Cool. Here is my AA Illustrates sample. And so, yeah, from here, if I understand correctly, Arjun, this is where I would submit.
Exactly. So in the product type, you actually get to choose whether you're submitting a bot or a package. So you get to choose an option if you want to upload a bot or if you're uploading a package.
Great.
Also, you get to change your name if you want to do that, because that's the name of the bot which it is going to display on your bot listing page.
Got it. Yeah, that's an important tip because when it creates the name based off the bot name, that may or may not be what I actually want my listing to be called when it's listed in BotStore. And so definitely want to make sure that you give a meaningful name there, as that's how people will be searching and finding your particular bot.
Exactly. Make sure you give it like a meaningful name and also a short name which people can relate to. Also understand what the bot is actually doing.
Sure. Yeah, so there's obviously quite a few fields here to fill out. Just with some benefits, a quick summary. You can enter screenshots and stuff like that of your bot, as well as choose categorization stuff. And this is where I would share that README file as well. So I would want to complete that README doc off of the template that was shared on the GitHub, and then be able to save that as a PDF and submit here. So we won't go through this entire process, but you can see here that it's got my submission zip, which automatically came from my control room to BotStore. So I don't have to do that upload myself or anything like that. Cool. Anything else to mention on this page, Arjun?
No, I think no, I think it's all straightforward. And from here, we just have to fill out all this fields and then hit on submit on the
Very cool.
top of the screen. Yeah.
Yeah. So one other thing I would mention here that I think haven't touched on quite yet is if I were to submit a package, right? So if I wanted to submit a package to BotStore, not just a bot, I think that process is really similar in my opinion. So we would, and I'll go back to this just demo one here that we had a second ago. So I've got the bot name - vendor name folder to include a custom package, right? This is a custom package that I created a while ago. If I want to list a package on BotStore, all I have to do is really just include that package in my sample bot, right? So I'll put it in an appropriate place so we're not just throwing stuff everywhere. This is a currency conversion, just a really small sample package. But if I want to do a real-time currency conversion, I would drag this over into where the bot logic goes. Should be right here. Obviously I could use the package and again, when I'm doing a demo bot like this, I'd want to make sure that I'm actually showing how that particular component worked. Obviously I want to do some testing and things like that. And that's what my documentation should really refer to, right? I mean, that's where I'm going to make sure to talk about exactly how to use my package, what the format for these input fields should be, what's the expected currencies, what are the valid input currencies, the output currencies in this example. Yours would obviously be different. And then some instructions on the appropriate use of your different actions within your package. So you would, obviously create your bot, you would save that. At this point, if I were to go through that same upload process that we just saw, where you check in and then obviously submit to BotStore, that would include not only this sample bot that we have, but that would include all the dependent packages, one of which would be my custom package that we just looked at. Any comments or color on that, Arjun?
Oh, the procedure looks, as you rightly mentioned, it's pretty much the same. It's just that you're going to use the package, whatever you have built it by yourself or you're taking it from some other places. And then when you're uploading it to the BotStore, ensure that you select it as a package, because in the BotStore listing page, if you want the bot to be, if you want to list an asset as a bot, then when a customer wants to take a look at it, it will give him or her an option to click on get bot. Whereas if you submit it as a package, you will get a button saying like get package. Also, there are two different sections where it would kind of list it. One is at the bot section and the other one is at package section. So you make sure you follow those so that you place it at the right location.
Right. So we're talking about this here for the
Exactly.
listing.
Yeah.
And then for the submission, I think this is what you're talking about, right? With the product type, making sure to select package here.
True. Yes.
Got it. Cool. Yeah, I mean, to me, that seems like a pretty straightforward process. I really like the fact that the two are connected, and it's, I don't have to download files or worry about the formatting or weird things like that. I can just submit them directly. And then as I have time, I can come back here and finish the final submission. Obviously you want to make sure and have some good images possibly a video. You can do a YouTube video or just an image for kind of like the main image for your bot. But that allows you to, demonstrate how it works, kind of break down to other developers and other users exactly how they would use that. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a great option as far as being able to really publicize what your bot is about and how it works.
As you know, the bot listing page, it's actually like a lead gen mechanism for you. The better you write the content in it, it'll attract more and more customers for you. And also, as Micah was mentioning about the vendor profile, once you create a vendor profile, and Micah, do you mind just clicking on one of the vendor profiles?
Yeah, one that's not Automation Anywhere, I think.
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
All right, let's look at App Perfect here.
So as you see here, so now we are on the vendor page for App Perfect. As you can see, once you like a bot from a particular vendor, you come to this page, you have an option to see all the bots built by that specific organization or even an individual. So this becomes as a profile or a resume for yourself or for your company. So once somebody likes one of your bots, it's very easy for them to find all your other assets. So that's how you showcase, kind of upsell for yourself.
Very cool. Great. Let me flip back here, and I want to ask you about the bot security program a little bit. So Arjun, what is the bot security program?
Sure. So bot security program is the industry's first bot security framework, where we are talking about how do you build secure bots. That's very much required for your customers, because as we all know, the bots, whatever we are talking about, these are going to be deployed in the live environments of large enterprise customers. So they definitely need to go through stringent security mechanisms. So that's what is being provided by the bot security program here.
Got it. So why is the bot security program important for someone who's an RPA customer?
So as I mentioned earlier, these are all enterprise customers, and everybody has a stringent mechanism for security validation, without which they would not be able to deploy these bots into the production. So that's where it's important for the assets which are taken from the bot store or from anywhere, basically. If you want to have a trustable asset to be deployed, that's when you will have enough confidence to deploy it in your production environment.
Got it. And why does the bot security program matter for developers?
Okay, there are a couple of reasons why it's extremely important for developers. This is how they're going to differentiate themselves from other developers who have not undergone a bot security program. So this is how you showcase that you have practiced the best security principles and then built the bots for yourself.
Very cool. Oh, yeah, that was the last one on that. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think, for developers, it's a good way for them to differentiate themselves, and they can demonstrate that they're adhering to best practices of the bot security program. And then they may have gone so far as to actually have third-party reviews of their bots to represent those level 3 and 4 bot security badges. So I was going to say, for RPA customers, I totally agree with you. I think that, one hesitation some people have is like, well, I don't necessarily know the source of this content. And so as they see this bot security framework in place and these badges that have been presented to different bots, that can give them a confidence to say, yeah, I mean, we know that there's malware scans taking place. We know that bot developers are adhering to the bot building best practices. They're reviewing this bot submission checklist, which kind of highlights some of the bot security checks and balances that they have done within their own bot, or even taken it further to third-party reviews. So RPA customers can be really confident about that.
Let me add a little more about these 4 levels which we see here. So the first level is the basic minimum requirement. That's a malware scan. So any bot which is listed on the bot store is actually scanned for malware, so that the customers are sure that there is no malware in the bot which they have included. And then the second level, that's basically a certification program and also a self-attestation program for the developers. So there is a learning trail in the Automation Anywhere University that talks about a trail called Secure Bot Developer Program. So I highly recommend all the developers to take up that training post which you will have to self-attest that you have ensured that you have taken care of the OWASP top 10 security issues, and then you have followed those recommended standards, and then you have built the bots. So level 1 and 2 are done totally by yourself, and for level 3, that's about threat modeling and static analysis, and the level 4 is about penetration testing. And that's where we have partnered up with a couple of security vendors who will assess your bot, and then they'll give you the reports saying like these conform to the threat modeling and the static analysis. That will give you a level 3. And once you also get the penetration testing done by them and you have the reports, you just have to share it with us, and that's when your bots get upgraded to this levels accordingly.
Very cool. Thanks for clarifying that.
Sure, and also you can see those URLs listed at the bottom of the page. Head on to those URLs to see more details about the bot security program, different FAQs, which are already asked by a couple of folks, and we have answered all the questions. And if you still have questions there, we have also added the email IDs through which you can reach out to us.
Great. So let's go through some closing thoughts, and we'll round up today's session. I'll go for this first one. Arjun, let's start with figuring out how to use packages to your advantage in bot building. You know, we talked about how to use those packages both from a download and consumer side, and also to a developer who is submitting those packages. And, you know, I would say definitely explore the packages that are available. Understand the packages that you have now that are enabled, but then also explore how you can really extend your toolkit to use other packages in your bot building.
Also, I highly recommend you to take up courses on the Automation Anywhere University, Bot Security Learning Trail, which you can learn and also then start building secure bots.
Cool. Yeah, and there's a link to that course down at the bottom here. We can share this in the chat as well. But then the last thing I would say is explore the bot store content for inspiration and accelerated bot building. And so some of the stuff in bot store I think you'll find really helpful to use as like subtasks and components as a part of your build. Some of it you may go through and just kind of understand the art of the possible and look to see what's available for you to use, but also for you to understand what's really capable, and what are some good ways to extend your own RPA builds to take advantage of other, you know, cloud-based services or other services that may be available locally based on the organization's applications and things like that.
These are really interesting stuff.
Absolutely. Arjun, any closing thoughts?
So we have shared a lot of information, I know, in a quick span of time. I hope it was interesting for you. Head on to the Automation Anywhere University and take up the Secure Bot Building program. So that gives you a certificate of completion, which you can also boast in your social media, showcase how the security aspects are taken care in your bots, and go be great.
Awesome. Thanks. Thanks, Arjun. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out today. Thank you for another great session of AA Illustrates. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Micah. See you. Thanks, everyone. Bye.